This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
Live from New York. It's a show that's not wearing Dockers, okay? First of all, there's nothing wrong with Dockers. But I'm not wearing Dockers.
Well, I mean, listen.
Casual.
You're sure, but you're certainly not wearing suit pants like the rest of us adults. He always looks good. He's wildly handsome. And our wardrobe department does a great job, but for some reason, Wild especially requests non-shiny pants.
I don't like them. Also, the news today. Chris Broussard not here on a family reunion in New Orleans, so shout out to...
But he's back tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, quick.
So Greg and Danny in for the whole 3 hours.
Wow.
Buckle up. It's like the Titanic. It's a full movie.
Yeah.
With
Titanic
exactly
maybe
like
wouldn't have gone.
Just no, as far as commercial success.
Okay, great. Then we should be fine.
First hour of First Things First. Today, Luka lights up the Spurs. Are the Lakers... all of a sudden, the second best team in the West, maybe. Meanwhile, literally by the standings. Meanwhile, Broncos Raiders tonight. Can Denver do anything to impress Nick Wright as they're in first place in several games?
That's a great question.
You're really...
But they're in first place.
You have been a Broncos believer for 18 hours.
Because I realized...
And now you're attacking me. You were right with me until yesterday at 4.
I had an awakening.
Love the tease.
And finally, a special edition of the Bud List. Now, this is controversial. Since Brew is out and Danny is in, we're going to call it the DUD List. Danny's under duress list.
Wow.
And people will not be motivated.
No, I don't believe in the people on this list.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll be motivated by your lack of belief.
That's exactly right.
Chip on their shoulder.
They got to prove me wrong.
Okay, maybe.
Probably not.
Alongside Greg Jennings, Super Bowl champion, Nick Wright, who's in the Syracuse Hall of Fame, Danny Parkins, Chicago radio star, and me, I played high school varsity soccer. We start with Luka out playing Wemby. Lakers win their 5th in a row. Luka dropped 35, 9, 13. Had 5 steals all of a sudden. Mr. Defense. Get the win over the Spurs. Wemby only had 19. He fouled out. Kind of lame. Here's Luka on Wemby. Take a listen.
What's this? His 3rd year in the NBA, and he's playing at MVP level, which is insane. So, I have much respect for him, much love, and I really enjoy these games. Playing against him, it's very tough. Guarding him and going against him in offense is very tough. But I think he's going to improve more. So it's always fun to play against guys like that, and I have so much respect for Wemby.
Also 5-0 against him in head-to-head matchups. Last night, Wemby had 19, Luka 35. Luka owned the night. What was your number one takeaway from this game, Nick?
Luka is in the process of reminding every single person associated with the NBA who the hell he is.
Oh.
He is the guy that by year 6 had more first-team All-NBAs than Steph Curry has had in his career. He is the guy that today, if you go to Basketball Reference and check, hey, playoff points per game leaders, it reads Michael Jordan 1, Luka Doncic 2. He is the guy who at 25 years old averaged for the season 34, 9, and 9 while leading a team no one thought would be in the finals all the way to the finals. He is a guy who from the moment he came into the league has profiled as someone that, is that going to be one of the 5 greatest offensive players in the history of the sport? And right now, and because of that, his team has a chance to win a championship. Yeah. Every year you have a historically great player in his prime, and you just have a competent roster around him. And credit to Pelinka, because right now the roster looks more than competent. You're in the mix. And so that, to me, is what the story of last night and the 5 games Luka's played this season is, that he's reminding everyone who he is.
So to me, I didn't fully ever agree with you that people had gotten off the Luka bandwagon as much as they did.
No, he was traded. I mean, his team got off it.
Nico Harrison certainly got off it, but like,
We couldn't touch the rim for a while.
Yeah, KW called him fat. His team traded him.
That's a scale.
Nah, I mean,
he is a top 5 offensive player in the game. He is an all-time playoff performer, and he is off to a great start this year, motivated and in shape, and a motivated, healthy, in shape Luka. If anyone doubts what that guy is, then I'm with Nick. You haven't been watching basketball for the last 5 years. But to me, the story of last night happened kind of during the game, but more after the game, with what Wemby said after he had probably his worst game of the year. And I wanted to play it to you guys, see if you agree.
Feels like the game is going fast somehow. Feels like the game has, like, as we got better as a team, and as all of us got better individually as well, it's like the opponents have stepped up in some ways defensively, and I feel in a way that the game feels fast right now. So we're gonna catch up on it, of course. Personally, I haven't seen this kind of defense from teams, So we need to adapt as a collective.
We all had a conversation after the first game of the year if he was the best player in the world. And 6 games later, he's saying the game is fast, and I've never seen defenses like this. It's a reminder that Wemby's 21 years old, and he can't do it all by himself yet. De'Aaron Fox hasn't played in a game this year. Dylan Harper got hurt. He's out there without a point guard. And in the first 4 games of the year, Wemby had 0 offensive fouls. And now teams are like, oh, let's change how we guard him a little bit. And he had 3 offensive fouls last night. So I think just compared to Giannis and Jokic and SGA and Luka, we got to remember, he's 5, 6, 8, 9 years younger than all of those guys. He still is a little bit ways away from being that night in and night out dominating force.
Yeah, I think Wemby could have been more aggressive and asserted himself a little earlier in the game. But my takeaway was Luka, and more Luka. Like, this is all. I'm with you, Nick. It's not that we've forgotten who he was, but when you play with a guy like LeBron James, you tend to just defer a little bit. And we saw that, obviously, once he got traded to the Lakers. But last night, Luka, in every action on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's pick and roll, whether it's pop, whether it's off the dribble, and then watching the way that they're able to play with an actual 5, an actual big, not a stretch 5.
Ayton's been good.
This is what Luka provides. And when you add LeBron on the court, he doesn't necessarily like that traditional 5. He wants that stretch 5 because he wants more space. And when you watch Luka play, I just feel like with this team, the way that they're currently constructed, and I know LeBron's going to come back and work himself in, but everyone seems to enjoy their role that they're playing. And Luka gets everyone involved. Jackson Hayes is great for him because if you stay on top, if you don't drop, he's going to throw the lob. Like you just said, DeAndre Ayton has been great for him. But this is all about Luka and what he provides. You put the ball in his hand, good things happen.
And listen, Luka's only played 5 of the 9 games. LeBron hasn't played yet, just got fully cleared today. Should be back in a couple weeks. Austin Reeves didn't play last night. And they're 7-2. And if you look at their next 7 games, because I think LeBron's going to miss the next 7. 6 of the 7 are on the road. Then they have a long homestand. This has 4-3 at worst, 5-2 written all over it. Yeah. And so the Lakers should find themselves at 11-5 or 12-4 when LeBron comes back, which for a team that was considered fringe-ish contender, I think that is way ahead of schedule from where they were. And I know you can get a little annoyed with me because I get hung up on trades that happened before, whether it be Quentin Williams and Micah Parsons or the Luka trade. Right now, there was a very brief but very loud, oh, was Nico that crazy after all once they got Cooper Flag? Once they were like, oh, well, if you knew you were getting Cooper Flag. If Nico Harrison today called up Pelinka and said, hey, I'll give you Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag for Luka, Rob Pelinka would say no. That is where it is right now. If he said, hey, let's undo the trade and I'll throw in Cooper Flag, the Lakers would say no to that because Luka's 40, 11, and 9 so far this year And he's not even shooting the ball from 3 well at all. Last night he didn't shoot the ball well anywhere, and he put up 35. He scored 35 points, and to your point yesterday, Wilds, didn't hit his player prop points over. He scored 35 points, and the under points prop was 35 and a half. It didn't hit his over.
We're 2 years removed from him carrying the Mavericks to the NBA Finals. Like, I cannot believe that many people are just like, yeah, Luka isn't awesome. Of course he's awesome.
He got more. He's more awesome now. This is not the same. This is not the same Luka. I mean, JJ challenged him to come back. He came back looking more athletic.
I mean,
I don't think he's the same guy.
I think it's traded. You don't. But he might be the same guy that took him to the finals.
Yeah.
I think last year he got hurt, then got traded, and there was a lot that went into it. But I don't think he is demonstrably better right now than he was his second to last year in Dallas. He just reminded everyone how good he is.
Head into the gridiron. Ravens head into Minnesota in a battle of teams that wear purple. Interesting note from Jeff Zerbiak of The Athletic. Last time Lamar faced a Brian Flores defense, Ravens-Dolphins, a few years ago, Ravens only scored 10 points and Flores blitzed Lamar 30 times. Now, the Ravens viewed that as kind of a turning point in Lamar's development because now he has literally the best passer rating against the blitz. Here's Lamar on the Ravens' new winning ways.
We've got to stay locked in, can't get on the high horse, just from winning 2 games in a row. We got to stay locked in. Like I said, we've been locked in for the last couple of weeks, and we got to stay that way. I believe we turned a new leaf. I believe so.
Danny, can the Vikings slow down Lamar?
And not just because I'm in Brew's seat. No, they can't. That game against Brian Flores a few years ago, Lamar since then has basically been the most dominant regular season player in the league. You talk about Luka's a different guy. Lamar is a different guy as a passer. And for all the questions that everyone's had about Baltimore this year, none of them have been about Lamar, if you're being fair. It's been about injuries. Did Derrick Henry lose a step? Did they just lose too many games early that they weren't going to be able to come back and overtake the Steelers? But in games this year that Lamar has started and finished, he is once again the best offensive player in football, certainly in the conversation. All of those rankings, explosive plays, passer rating to your point, points scored, it's a big one, they'd be top 3 in the NFL. The Vikings are coming off a nice game against Detroit, a weird game against Detroit where J.J. McCarthy had less than 200 yards but had 4 touchdowns. But I don't think Minnesota's got it to slow down this Lamar.
I disagree. I definitely believe that they got enough to slow down Lamar Jackson. And this doesn't take away anything of what you said about Lamar. Like, he's great. We know he's great. But just like the Detroit Lions, who they just played, this is a similar style offense, albeit Lamar is a completely different player at the quarterback position. Run first offense, you stop the run, you force Lamar to throw the ball. He somehow will allow you to stop him because Lamar has turned into a passer versus a threat in the running game as a passer that can extend plays with his legs. And when you watch the Detroit game that they played against the Baltimore Ravens, we saw that on full display. Extending plays, allowing them to because he wants to get the ball down the field, he's holding on to the ball a little bit longer, so you're going to have chances to get home if you're Brian Flores. He's going to give you those exotic looks, but he's not going to make it easy. And Lamar Jackson, because he wants to stay in the pocket and for whatever reason doesn't want to get outside the pocket and use his legs. And it sounds crazy, but the numbers don't lie. His numbers have gone down year after year after year, and his desire, his desire to want to get out and use his legs.
And so the stats you showed, Danny, are accurate. I feel like it's a little misleading in this regard. They did not lose the Chiefs game because Lamar left the game, and that game was a game that Lamar was neutralized. Where in that game, like, I understand he left late in the third quarter, and the reason I bring that up here is because the Chiefs had a very kind of bespoke, interesting defensive game plan with Spags versus Lamar that I imagine Brian Flores is going to bring something similar to the table to. I would be surprised if the Vikings stymie Lamar, but I wouldn't be as shocked as I think you would be. And I also, passer rating is an interesting and important metric, but I think this applies a little bit to your guy Drake May and a little bit to Lamar. Quarterbacks that will simply take sacks rather than throw the ball away, they get rewarded in passer rating because passer rating doesn't give you any negative whatsoever for a sack. And I think that's one of the reasons Drake's passer rating is, as you've been showing, it's
second best.
Right. Well, second best to Lamar, but also on a historic run. And Lamar, when we see, his passer rating over the last 2 years, like 125.
It's absurd.
And so I do think that the holding on to the ball, taking some sacks in red zone are one of the few regular season weaknesses for him. But I think the bigger point of this weekend's game, or the more important part of this weekend's game, is just because the Ravens won the must-win against the Bears does not change the fact at all that the must-wins just keep coming.
Yeah.
Correct.
If they lose this weekend, which they're 4.5-point favorites, they're not supposed to, but as you talk about all the time, 4.5-point favorites lose all the time.
Yeah.
I believe their season's over. I think that if you look at their schedule moving forward, what the Ravens absolutely must be 6-5 going into that right-hand column on the screen. Because the Steelers getting that win that we didn't expect, some didn't expect them to get last week, have put the Baltimore in a position where if they fall to 3-6, I just think they're finished. And so it is just immense pressure on them each and every week not to have a hiccup. And you disagree? You think they could lose this game and make the postseason? Because I do not.
I think they could. I'm with you that it's obviously massive and that middle column is more winnable, so to speak, to go on a run in the right-hand column of the schedule. I'm just smirking at the idea that this Vikings team is up to the task against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense looks awesome.
Yeah, but
Baltimore on both sides of the ball looks great to me right now.
Based on what?
Here we go.
Based on what? I just want to know, are we basing this on Chicago, the Bears game? Are we basing this on the Miami game against that Dolphins offense that has struggled against almost everyone? What are we basing this on?
Well, I mean, the Dolphins the week before they played Baltimore did have a good game. The Bears offense has been good except for when they played Baltimore. Inconsistent, but they had been on a better run since their bye week. Kyle Hamilton seems to solve a lot of problems on that defense. Wiggins has been back. They've been getting healthier on the defensive side of the ball. They've gotten Lamar back. And Lamar, all of last year, basically didn't get slowed down against anybody. Lamar's on a multi-year run of being a great offensive player. So him getting slowed down is an extreme outlier.
Yeah, but to be fair, I know how highly you think of Detroit.
Yes.
The Vikings just annihilated Detroit. Like, if they can do that to Detroit, why can they not do something similar to Baltimore? Like, Detroit has earned Goff has not earned the faith Lamar has, but Detroit's offense has earned as much faith as any offense in the regular season in the league over the last couple of years. Detroit's defense is better than Baltimore's, at least has been this season. And again, I am too anxious about what trick bag we're going to get from J.J. McCarthy to go say, I think the Vikings are going to upset the Ravens. I think that, and Lamar's historic record against non-conference opponents that don't see him often, all of that concerns me. But I think it's a little unfair to Minnesota to act like what they just did 4 days ago it's a lot
unfair. And it's not just about what this defense can do against Lamar, because when you play against a team, an offensive unit like the Baltimore Ravens, you're not just thinking, we have to stop Lamar. It's offensively, we need to possess the ball as well. And when they've had success, the Minnesota Vikings, they've been able to run the ball, limit their opponents' opportunities, just like against Detroit. They stopped the run against Detroit. They were able to run the ball against Detroit, taking pressure off their young quarterback, alleviating all this desire for him to need to make plays and have to make plays versus we're going to turn around and hand the ball off. We're going to ease up our offense. And then defensively, we're going to do what we've always done. We're going to lean heavily on turnovers. We're going to lean heavily on getting pressure on your guys and see if you can make plays. Lamar, yes. Has he proven he can do all those things? Of course. Has this Ravens defense this year
I don't believe in the Ravens
been so good to where we're like, yeah, they're going to shut down that Vikings offense no matter what they do? No.
Sounds like an upset alert preview.
Possibly.
Yeah, I like that. Tonight's game, a first versus worst battle in the AFC West. Broncos almost 10-point favorites when they host the Raiders. Here's the current odds in the AFC West. Broncos 7-2, they're in first. Chargers actually have worse odds than the Chiefs, and then the Raiders way far back. A Broncos win would mean what to you, Nick?
A Broncos win would be mandatory. They lose in a week from now, they're not going to be leading the division anymore. So it would, but I don't want to say they have nothing to gain in this game. The Broncos this year have twice looked good for 60 minutes against the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. The two teams that when anybody else lights up either one of those defenses, we're like, yeah, but it's the Cowboys or it's the Bengals. Every other game they've played, they have either lost or trailed in the fourth quarter. It was a 1-point game against Tennessee in the fourth quarter. It was a 1-point game in the Jets that they were trailing in the fourth quarter. We know what the fourth quarter was against the Giants. They were trailing Davis Mills by a touchdown 3 days ago. People should not conflate my Broncos skepticism with an old Broncos-Chiefs rivalry that's been long dead. What they should recognize it as, I've watched this team every week, and there have been 2 times all year where it's like, wow, the Broncos imposed their will and controlled that football game. The defense has been awesome all year, and the offense has been pulling teeth all year and then has had these magical fourth quarters, which against Philadelphia means a lot to me. Against the Jets and the Texans with Davis Mills and the Giants means a lot less to me. And so the Bo Nix stuff is he has been brilliant in fourth quarters. Brilliant. We can show it to you. And they have been brutal in quarters 1 through 3. So tonight, what they should do on a short week in their building against the Raiders is control the game from start to finish. Do I think they will? No, because they have not done that against any team that has a defensive pulse. And so, no, I guess that's my answer.
Yeah, we're pretty aligned on the Broncos, and this is a tough spot just in your best defensive player, Surtain, is out. The best player on the Raiders, other than Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, finally looked 100% healthy last week. He looked amazing. Weird things happen in division games on Thursday night. I'm not expecting a Denver blowout, but because of a 3-point win against Houston, a 1 or 2 point win against the Jets and the Giants, they have built themselves a little cushion here where if we throw up the Broncos schedule and if they just beat the teams they are supposed to beat, if you beat the Raiders twice, you beat the Commanders with their injury situation, and you beat the Jaguars at home, they're an 11-win team that's going back to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, it'd be shocking if they missed the playoffs. I think the question is, are they going to win the division? And
it's on the board.
Oh,
it's
on the board.
And a win tonight just allows them. They're already in the driver's seat. Right now, they're in the driver's seat. We can almost scratch off, and Chargers fans can hate it to listen to this. We can almost discard the Chargers because I believe that we all are in unison to believe that they're going to fall off. But the team that they're going to have to continue to separate themselves for, if they can, is the Chiefs. They win tonight. That puts them at 8-2. That's a nice little cushion, being that you play this team next week.
Oh, yeah.
You play them next week, and you talk as if it is absolutely impossible that they can beat the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs coming off
and
a
they
bye,
can.
I think I'm not going to say it's impossible. I would be absolutely stunned.
I think a lot of us
coming off a bye, the Chiefs lose to Bo Nix.
Is it fair to say that you've been stunned almost every week watching the Denver Broncos and how they've been?
No, it's not. It absolutely. I said on this show before the season, I think they're going to start 6-2 and miss the playoffs.
I'm not talking about that.
They said they're going to start 6-2.
I'm saying having watched them play in these games.
No, so
based on what we see when we're watching these games through quarters 1 through 3, and then are we shocked when they come back? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So to answer your question, when I watch the Broncos every week, for the first 3 quarters, I'm not stunned at all. I'm like, this is exactly what I expected. And then in the fourth quarter, I'm surprised.
Exactly.
Yes. No, that's all true.
So we've been getting surprised by this team every week.
So, but what is it? So you're saying if they win tonight, you're going to say you believe they're going to win the AFC West?
Absolutely.
So right now, you think they're going to win the AFC West?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Right. Their defense is that good.
The defense is great.
And it seemingly has been all that what they needed because Bo Nix, for the entirety of the season thus far, has been good when it matters most. And it's all that we praise with anybody else but Bo Nix.
No. Hold on a second. It is absolutely not all that we praise with anybody else. We praise guys where if they're mediocre or just fine and then hit another gear when it matters most. It is very rare what we've seen here, which is the Texans game, the Jets game, the Titans game, where the whole reason the game is close is the quarterback's been terrible. And then he's excellent late. That is a unique, and he's not this player, and I'm not making the comp, but the closest example to it is a different Broncos quarterback drafted around the same place Bo Nix was in Tim Tebow, where he's bad for 3 quarters and then spectacular at the end.
Broncos have an 87% chance to win the division, according to the Athletic Playoff Predictor.
87% to win the division?
Yes.
You don't like that.
I don't think that
seems
accurate.
That's what it says.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm not an actor, just a guy living with prostate cancer. My wife and I face each day head on. We asked my doctor about Xtandi enzalutamide.
Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache.
Visit Xtandi.com to watch my story.
Quick correction before we get to this Bear Bets promo. Turns out the Broncos only have a 45% chance to win the AFC West, so I apologize.
Thank you, KW.
If you want, that's why I'm not on a good podcast like Bear Bets.
He would have never gotten that wrong.
No.
Never.
The Bear, Jeff Schwartz, and Sammy P wager their real money on every pick they make. New episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check it out. Subscribe to our podcast while you're on the app. So
I saw Bear today.
What's he up to?
Just crushing bets.
There we go.
The guy, he is a legendary gambler. Legendary.
Great logo. First place Patriots in Tampa Bay to play the first place Bucs in a battle of we found our post-Tom Brady franchise quarterback. Are the Patriots or the Bucs more likely to prove they're real contenders after this game?
Listen, I believe in your Patriots, KW.
Thanks.
I picked them before the year to make the playoffs. I said I think during tiers they could be the number 1 seed.
Yes.
It's certainly on the board. But the Bucs' schedule best is Super Bowl contention this year. The Patriots, that's a year or 2, call it 1 year ahead of schedule.
Maybe.
And I am not, you play who you play. I do think the Patriots' 7-2 record isn't quite as hefty as the Bucs' 6-2 record, even though the Bucs have been close victories. And I think there is something very real and important about a veteran, established quarterback with real postseason experience and played really well in the postseason. So I think the Bucs are better than the Pats. I think the Bucs at home, even banged up, will beat the Pats, and I think the Bucs are better positioned to be real. They can win the Super Bowl this season contenders, with no disrespect to the Pats, who I think are having an excellent year.
So I don't think either of these teams is a contender to really win the Super Bowl. But they're both very impressive. Got to love where they're at with quarterback play. The Patriots do seem a year ahead of schedule. The Bucs have been winning their division each and every year, and they are overcoming injuries at this point, even if they are winning really close games. But to Nick's point, if I had to pick one to go on a run, it would be the Bucs.
You don't even believe in Tampa at all.
I know. But
exactly.
I'm shocked.
I know why you're going to say this is a confusing take.
Oh, very.
I like the Patriots in this game. But the Bucs are going to have a home playoff game. The Patriots, I do not think will. I think the Bills will end up winning the AFC East. But in this game, in this spot, I expect the Patriots to win.
Okay.
I think the Patriots are going to win this game. Bucs coming off a bye, but I do think the injuries right now are too much for Tampa to overcome in this moment against the real team. I think they've been kind of doing a Houdini act with all of these one-score wins, fourth-quarter comebacks, and all of that stuff. But at the end of the season, the team that's going to be better positioned to make a playoff run is the team that I think is more likely to play a game at home in the playoffs, which is Tampa.
Okay, so I think the Pats here, and both, in my opinion, are contenders. But I think if the Patriots win this game, it just builds to that resume that you feel like they lack. Beating the Bucs, a team in the NFC that we all believe that's going to be in the postseason, that's going to have a shot. They've had a shot every year the last couple of years. But when you look at what they're doing, the young quarterback that's unproven, I don't buy that you have to have this proven veteran guy that's kind of had a playoff win, that's had experience. It's something to having a guy that just has a belief and a confidence that he moves with, that he obviously plays with, that then when he comes into the playoffs, you don't know what you're going to get. You're hoping that you get a young guy that's going to be rattled, but he seemingly hasn't been that. Then you look at who he's already played. The biggest threat to him, albeit the Chiefs, because they're the biggest threat to every. But the Bills in their division, and playing them on the road already, and having gone in there and beat them, why do you believe that all of a sudden they have to have a home playoff game in order to? They believe that they can beat them. They've done it. Drake May has outplayed Josh Allen in that game. So this will be a resume builder for me for the Patriots, and that, in my opinion, is why this team needs this win to kind of build that, because, like you said, their resume isn't great, obviously, with winning against the Bills, but this will be enough. This will be enough.
First place. Greg, I told you upstairs I wanted to show you something, a tweet that I saw, because I can show you Drake May stats till I'm blue in the face. We've got a great defense. Drake May's way ahead of schedule. Butte's playing great. Stephon Diggs is playing great. We can go on and on and on. But I'm looking for around the edges. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking something beyond the empirical to show you how good the Patriots are. So that's why I've brought up everyone giving Vrabel high fives. Vrabel asking Will Campbell if he wants his jersey. That type of stuff is what I'm looking for. So I saw this tweet, Greg, and I want your reaction to it.
I cannot wait.
Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel says 41 players came in and lifted yesterday on their day off. Players buying in. Something or nothing, Greg?
Be honest.
You can be honest.
So this is something. And I'm going to be honest. It's something because it tells you what they feel about just being in that facility. It's not even about the fact that they worked out, but just being around each other and probably not having a lot to do.
Love it.
In Foxborough, they're going to just go to the facility. So I don't say that, this lets me believe that they're extremely focused, they're extremely locked in. They enjoy being around each other.
Can I and tell me if you think this is wrong. You're the king of vibes, obviously. So I don't want to encroach on that. I do think, though, when the teams are really good, vibes are typically pretty good. And when teams are bad, vibes are bad. And it's really only noteworthy to me when it's not that. When last year's Eagles are on a run and A.J. Brown's like, something's wrong, and he's reading the book. They ended up overcoming it, but that, makes you concerned. When Dan Campbell's Lions, his first year, were 8-1 or whatever they were, but they seemed to vibes were good. I'm like, that signals something. So I think really good team on a long winning streak, guys come in to put in a little extra work is maybe not all that rare. Is what I would say there. I mean, again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think.
Just my vibe meter has been going crazy. It's like an alien movie where like the little kid is like, what's going on?
It's a
Dog
real
starts
thing.
barking.
It's a real thing. And this is a team that, to your point, they haven't faced adversity. I would love to see them up against some adverse situation.
Well, this is a huge. Here's the thing, because the Bucs have 3 straight tough games, and then as soft of a final 6, or I don't know, it was 5 or 6.
Yeah, they got the Rams and the Bills after this. This is a bigger spot for the Patriots.
The Bucs go Patriots, Rams, Bills, and then the most cupcakey. Sorry, Panthers. I guess not quite as cupcakey as we thought, but a really awesome right-hand column. So, and Danny thinks the Bucs are going to go 0-3 in this spot. I think they're more likely to go 2-1, but we'll see. Either way, they have already been tested. They've played really good teams, and they're definitely going to be able to recover at the end of the year. For the Patriots, what is great for them, if we throw up their schedule, is, man, you win this game, and it's like we've played 2 A-listers. I think the Bucs are an A-lister. Maybe they're a B-plus lister, but I think they're an A-lister. And my pick goes Super Bowl. And we beat them both. And the one other good team we played, the Steelers game, we feel like we gave that one away. So I just feel like it gives you a ton of momentum, if you will, through your bye when you find out who you really are in that 2-week stretch. I would just be surprised if the Patriots win.
A controversial take?
Always. Those is what you're known for, KW.
I wouldn't hate it if we lost this game.
Oh, wow.
What a hedge.
Wait.
No,
what do you mean?
I mean, 100% honest. Like, we lost to the Raiders week 1. It was like a weird week 1 game. No Christian Gonzalez. So it's like week 1, weird stuff happens. And we lost to the Steelers where we turned the ball over 5 times. We have yet to play like a good game and lose. And I think it would be kind of helpful to be like, you know what? We can play better than that. Because every time we've played a good game, we've won. And I kind of wouldn't mind a loss. I know it sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy because I think you have to adjust, and I think Danny will agree with me on this. You have to adjust your eye as to what's on the line here. You guys can be the 1 seed. As long as you have winning the division and the 1 seed as a realistic possibility, no loss is good. It's so valuable for you guys to get this win. It's so valuable.
Why? Because we're not good on the road, undefeated?
No, KW. Because you
want to win.
Yeah,
like you
I'm not saying I
can win the
want to
division.
win.
You can be the 1 seed. You can have the MVP.
I know, but as a fan of a team, I think it's also odd. It's like this is one of like the friction of being on sports television. If you don't pick the Chiefs to go undefeated, like were the Chiefs going undefeated? Like no. It's like every week. Like, what do you think about the Chiefs? Like, they're going to win this week. It's very tricky.
Yeah.
So
look, I think it would be better for them to win this game and drop one of the next
to a bad team.
Yeah.
I think you'd be better off losing to a bad team. Get the confidence up that we can
lose to a bad team.
Well, but it's horrible. Right?
You lose to a bad team. The idea is, you know what? We have room to grow. We got to learn to play
like the Eagles-Giants kind.
We got to learn to play at our level and standard of expectation week in and week out, despite our opponent.
Okay.
They're a young team.
This would be a great win for you guys.
It would be
probably going undefeated. I'll be honest. We'll probably go undefeated now. You guys probably go undefeated.
Got to pick.
Coming up next, special episode of Weird and Wonderful, and are the Colts going to say Auf Wiedersehen to their losing streak in Germany when they play the Falcons? That's next. Falcons lost by 1 point to the Patriots, cut their kicker. Colts lost by 7 to the Steelers, added Sauce Gardner. This game is in Berlin, Greg. Are you expecting a bounce-back game from Daniel Jones against the Falcons?
I'm definitely expecting a bounce-back game. However, I don't think it's going to be easy. Oddly, and I've heard you kind of allude to this, like this Falcons team, they're
sneaky good.
Well, their defense, they can get after the quarterback, they can disrupt you, but I expect Daniel Jones to be dialed in. Like when you have a performance like he had, you're obviously going to take ownership, but so does others, like the offensive line. They're going to come in the building and say, look, we got to be better for you. He's going to say, guys, I got to be better for you. And collectively as a team, you hope that we're better together. They got to run the ball. Like it was evident that's your leading identity right now. Running the ball with Jonathan Taylor and not throwing the ball 50 times, not getting down the way they did. But I definitely think they bounce back against this Atlanta Falcons team.
I think they do, but this is a perfect international game. Like you wake up, you kind of forget that it's on, and you're like, oh, Falcons, sneaky good. They beat Buffalo. They almost beat New England, but they got shut out by 30 against Carolina. They're a losing team. They're probably not anything special. Indy gets to actually watch them in a standalone spot and evaluate how they come back from Pittsburgh. Indy should win this game. And if they don't, it says much more about them and are they a pumpkin and all of that. And Sauce Gardner gets to make his debut for the Colts and go up against the top 5-ish talent at the position in Drake London.
Drake's coming off maybe the best game any receivers had all year.
He was ridiculous, and he's an awesome talent when they throw him the ball. Obviously, Atlanta's had a very inconsistent play, that's putting it kindly, at quarterback. So this is just one of the most fun games of a great slate this weekend, and I do expect the Colts to win because I think they're better top to bottom talent-wise, but Atlanta's sneaky.
Greg's going to hate my...
I already know. I was going to say
where everyone's dancing around.
Greg, hold on. No, because...
Indy's better than Atlanta.
Greg's going to hate my take. But what do I owe? The audience, I owe them honesty. Throw up Indy's schedule, please. I would like to point something out, if we could do this. Home against Miami, that's a dome. Home against Denver, that's a dome. In Tennessee in September, that's quite nice weather. At the Rams in September, that's nice weather. Home in a dome, home in a dome. In LA in mid-October, home in a dome.
Daniel Jones played in New York.
And was terrible.
Because the team was terrible.
What I said, Greg, classic one, you're going to hate the take. I knew you were going to hate the take. I'm just telling you right now. I think one of the things the Colts are playing for this season, and one of the reasons they traded for Sauce Gardner, was because I think they correctly believe, man, our Super Bowl hopes feel a lot differently if it's coming through the dome in Indianapolis versus in the elements in Buffalo or Kansas City. And we are going to get, I don't know if you guys checked the weather forecast for Berlin this weekend, but I did. Yeah. It's supposed to be about 40 degrees on a soccer pitch. It's not supposed to be rainy, it's supposed to be a little foggy.
Football weather.
Real football weather. Playoff football weather. And when I look at what the Colts have, we're going to see them in this game and in Kansas City in what would be real kind of football playoff weather conditions, and then not really much else. But I think it is a legitimate concern. Is this offense that was the greatest show on turf for the 07 Pats going to look anything close to like that in wintertime football weather? Go ahead.
I mean, it's a great offensive line that runs the ball.
Yeah,
shouldn't that travel?
So I don't. Jonathan Taylor's been great, but the reason we've been talking so much about Daniel Jones is they have been a quick strike, high-flying offense with a dynamic receiving core. Jonathan Taylor is excellent. I am telling you right now, I do not expect a big bounce-back game from Daniel Jones and the Colts. I think that the Falcons plus 6.5 is definitively the play. Am I going to say the Falcons are going to beat them outright? I'm not sure yet. Maybe wait for tomorrow on that because I think Michael Penix is not all that trustworthy. But I do think there is. We saw them play in Pittsburgh and turn the ball over 6 times.
And the weather was probably terrible. It was freezing.
No, I didn't say that. But it wasn't a perfect dome, and it wasn't California sunshine.
So, let me say this real quick.
I knew you were going to hate the take.
No, you know what? After thinking about it, no, it's not a classic one. I don't even hate the take.
Okay. Wow.
This is because Wilds. You know what? Every team in the National Football League, the realistic teams do this. They shoot for the Super Bowl. That's on there to do. Like we have a goal of winning the Super Bowl. We want to win a championship. You know, one of the next things is. You know what?
Lose the Super Bowl.
No, not lose the Super Bowl. We want to win the division.
Oh, okay.
We want a home playoff game.
Yes.
We want playoff games to come through here.
Yes.
That's almost every team that wants to get to the postseason.
Of course.
So I agree. They do want to play at home.
But so here is, of course that
just like every other team.
No, but so
we just talked about the New England Patriots. You know what? They have the chance to get the 1 seed. But they want to play at home.
But here is the distinction in the AFC particularly, not so much in the NFC. Who are the teams in the AFC that we think are real contenders? We're going to include the Colts in them. The New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, the Denver Broncos, if I have to include them, the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are outdoor cold weather cities. And the Indianapolis Colts. The NFC, it has been different in that the teams that have been doing really well have domes or warm weather aside from Philly, where it's been the Rams, the Bucs, the Lions, the Cowboys when they were winning 12 games, and there was Philly, which had a huge advantage when the playoffs went through Philadelphia. I'm saying to you that in the AFC, when all of the other teams that are real contenders, we are talking about freezing cold weather in January, outdoor stadiums, and then the Colts, whose offense is the best since the 07 Pats, where all the graphics have a perfect climate-controlled dome with a quarterback that prior to playing in that dome had never been a good passer, ever. We can say anything, we can blame it on whatever we want. We all agree Daniel Jones had never been a good passer any year of his career before this one. It will be an interesting litmus test to me to see how he plays 44 degrees in Berlin on that grass. That's all I'm saying.
I would just like to see this team struggle because of weather or because they're playing outdoors.
I would like to see this team look dynamic in non-perfect conditions. They've had one game like that, and they turned the ball over 6 times. That's all I'm saying.
But it wasn't because of the conditions that they turned it over.
Exactly. What are we talking about?
It's out there a little bit, but
the idea that the Indianapolis Colts throughout their history have built a team for that fast track, it's not out there at all. We saw an entire era of it. Listen.
Well, but this isn't Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis coming off the edge.
You're right. This is a team with not as much talent as those teams.
I do like that it is cold, however, in Indianapolis.
Yes,
that's
but it's
the
not
next level of it.
Yeah.
It's not like, you're playing
it's not,
Florida, like Tua's narrative.
No.
I like that it's cold there.
See, you did hate it. I knew
you can hate it, Greg. You played in Green Bay.
No, listen, he's right. There was no advantage for them at all playing when teams who played in domes.
The DUD List.
There was no edge at all.
No. DUD List.
Live from New York. It's a show that's debuting Weather Takes.
Oh, yeah. The weather. Notoriously totally independent of what happens in professional football.
Weather Takes. I didn't hate it.
People are going to be waking up Sunday morning, turn on the game midway through the first quarter, and they're like, wow, it's 3-0. What's happened to these explosive offenses? You're going to see mud flying up. They're like, oh, it's not on turf. You're going to have a little cloudy, I know it's not London, but London fog.
Only breaking
cloud.
news. As the year progresses, the weather changes, and offensive numbers start to decline.
And you know who gets hurt by that the most? Teams that rely on an explosive offense that play in a dome.
I think it's going to be a pretty sick pitch, though.
Well,
you were like, on a soccer field. Soccer field is going to be pretty nice.
We'll see.
What do you mean, we'll see? They keep those things.
You watch a lot of Bayern Munich?
Perfect. Yeah, actually I did.
You do?
Oh, yeah, actually I did. I love Bundesliga.
Good job.
Second hour, first things first today. The best case for Patrick Mahomes MVP made by friend of the show, Bill Barnwell.
Yeah, not made by me. It is made by the future GM of my fake
Bill Barnwell, also, interesting note, mentioned as friend of the show the most, who I haven't spoken to in 10 years.
I've never spoken to him.
He's a great guy.
He's a great writer.
He's a great guy. Bill Barnwell, come on the show. Is he allowed?
Not allowed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we would allow him.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Throw down the gauntlet. Barnwell, you're invited. Make him say no. Meanwhile, does Mac Jones have the Rams on upset alert? Oh, no, what the heck? He already beat them once. That's ridiculous. You're like, oh, could you imagine? Yeah. It literally already happened. But right now, of course, it's time for the most motivational segment in all sports, but a little bit of a fly in the ointment. Brew is not here. Nevertheless, Christina still went to the post office and brought back a letter. No envelope.
Do you think they knew Brew wasn't going to be here?
Of course not.
How could they have, right?
What is he talking about?
Yeah, you got to
It's like
send
a
the
week
mail
for the
days
letter
in
to go,
advance.
dude.
Oh, okay.
You guys don't know how the mail works.
Okay.
Email guy.
Dear Wilds, love the show. I saw this morning that Brew is out. Who is going to motivate this week's teams? Cheers, Ryan and Brian. Well, thank you, Ryan and Brian. The Bud List has been on fire.
It has been. That is true.
So last week I pulled it up. Caleb beat the Bengals last second, clutch play. J.J. McCarthy had a great win against the Lions, and he had a new alter ego. He's like talking trash.
Call me
after.
9 with my stupid face.
And Yamamoto won World Series MVP.
Yeah.
So another pristine week for the Bud List. So because you can't sort of reach that level of sort of
It's impossible.
motivation, that's just reserved for Brew.
Yeah.
We're debuting a new segment called the DUD List, named after you because your name is Daniel or Danny.
Yeah, birth name Daniel. I go by Danny.
Okay.
I'm an adult Danny.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's the people that I don't believe in.
Oh, yeah.
The people you don't believe in.
That I don't believe in.
Okay.
And hopefully that has some reverse
Adult
psychology.
Danny threw me off.
That's right. We said or
Well,
Danny.
because most Dannys
Our
at
children.
some point turn into Daniel.
Did you consider
And
it?
he's
Never
the-
once.
he's
No.
just-
We didn't consider it?
We don't have real jobs.
You never, rolled Daniel out?
Never
No.
once.
Never
Would
once, like it's Daniel. Like in your mortgage?
No, I would get no. My mortgage is signed Danny Parker.
That's great.
Yeah, true story.
You could have gotten a better rate.
Yeah, I probably
Okay,
would have.
time for the
Time,
DUD
my
list.
bad. The Dan under duress list. Yeah, coming in at number 1 or number 3. Go 3, 2, 1. That's how countdowns work. J-Lo. More like J-No to me. Jordan
there we
Love.
go.
I just don't trust you in big moments, and I think it's just going to get harder for you. Tucker Kraft, who may be the most important skill position guy on Green Bay, he's now out for the year. You've got Philly on Monday night. There are 9 NFC teams with 5 or more wins, Green Bay included. Toughest division in football. They were a 1 seed a week ago. I don't love them to be the 1 seed. I don't love them to win the division. And the thing is, Jordan Love has been the thing that has let them down in the losses. Like, if Jordan Love played average, they'd be undefeated. But they are allowing a league low 14.5 points per game in the losses, and he only has 1 touchdown. That's bad losses too. Carolina, Cleveland. So they are a wildly talented team, and Jordan Love's a very talented player. But when he plays poorly, they lose. Jordan Love, I don't believe in you, but prove me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, the proof.
Save it at the end.
It softens it a bit.
Yeah, but it's pretty rough to start.
Yeah, well, number 2, might get worse here. The Denver Broncos. The whole team. It's a 6-game win streak, and no piece of it feels sustainable. We can talk about any of the specifics of the weirdest football game of the year with the 30-point fourth quarter against the Giants, barely beating Davis Mills, a game in which they had the Giants by 1, the Jets by 2. Patrick Surtain is now out. But if you just look at their record and how little they're scoring compared to the rest of the league, they're 4-1 in games where they've scored 21 or fewer points. The rest of the league wins 18% of those games. Nothing about what Denver has done so far feels sustainable. And I know Broncos fans will say, hey, we're in first place. You're not even putting us as a top 10 team. Bo Nix throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage or he chucks it deep. I watch the games and they don't look like a team that deserves a winning record. Their defense is great. The defense is great, but there's nothing that I believe in
Danny,
on their offense.
Be careful
Prove
here
me wrong.
before you say you don't believe in them.
What?
You are sitting next to a guy who's been a Denver Broncos fan for exactly 24
I thought about getting one of those old school Denver Broncos uniforms.
It's a good-looking uniform.
It's a great, yeah, I like that.
It's a good-looking uniform.
Can I say? Nah, I don't want to ruin the segment.
What?
I would ruin the segment.
That's not something you would ever do.
No, it's just like when the Chiefs were doing this type of stuff last year, we were just singing their praises.
I wanted to say that earlier.
But I don't want to ruin. I didn't. You know what?
But I mean-
I'll tell you what. I would say. I'm not saying that, but that's out there.
Yeah,
That's
but
out
you
there.
would agree that it's reasonable to give the Chiefs a different benefit of the doubt than the Denver Broncos?
Of course. That's why I'm not. Buddy,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
you
saying
wouldn't
it.
say it.
People. I'm just saying. But fourth quarter, if other people do it, it's like, wow, the moxie.
Yeah.
But when Bo Nix does it, it's just luck. I mean, and he did beat the Eagles.
He did beat the Eagles.
I'm not saying it.
It's out
there.
People are mailing that in. Probably will get another win tonight, though. And number 1 on Danny's under duress list, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, wow.
Nick's
This is
got
what I like.
So, Baker is objectively a very good quarterback. But nothing about this season, similar to the Broncos, feels sustainable to me. All of the one-score wins, all of the fourth quarter comebacks early. It is wildly impressive the number of consecutive years of winning the NFC South, albeit the worst division in football, and to this point, overcoming a bunch of injuries. I do think right now at this moment, and I know Bucky Irving will be back and Godwin will be back, they're not back right now. And so with Evans and a couple of offensive linemen and Irving and Godwin out, last week, 1 offensive touchdown against the Saints. Week before, 1 offensive touchdown against the Lions.
Ooh.
First 6 weeks, this looked like an MVP candidate and a top 5 offense in football. Last couple of weeks, not so much. And when you've got New England and the Rams and the Bills, I think 6-2 is about to become 6-5. Then the schedule gets easy. I'm sure they'll win the NFC South, but it'll just be like the year before and the year before and the year before. A 10 or 11 win team that I don't think is capable of making a real deep run in the playoffs. So Baker and the Bucs, I don't believe in you.
Wow.
But prove me wrong.
Excellent edition, first premiere edition of the DUD List. Danny's under duress. Greg, do you feel like motivating someone or the exact opposite?
Because the guy that I'm going to talk about is Danny's guy, I'm going to stay with protocol, and I'm going to stay right, because it bothers me that you have Jordan Love up there and not Caleb.
Wow. Well,
because you believe in Caleb more than Jordan Love, apparently.
I would never put Caleb on the list.
But since we're going this route, I'm going to throw up there Justin Herbert. Yeah, I know. That look. Exactly. Yeah, this is literally what Justin Herbert is literally what under duress looks and feels like for the remainder of the season.
Oh, you mean like literally because the pass rush and the pressures?
All of that.
He's under duress?
And
that's fair.
And the pressure is going to be on him, seemingly to just overcome it. Because
you couldn't ask a franchise quarterback to do that, Greg.
Nick, you can't do
Greg,
that.
Have you not seen their right tackle situation? You can't ask him to.
And their left tackle.
Unfair. It's just unfair.
And you know what? Seemingly, he has the ability and the skill set to do it. But can he do it? Justin Herbert, I'm going to say this first. I actually believe that you have the ability to do it. I doubt that you will, because you have yet to show us that you can do it in a meaningful moment. And that's for the remainder of the season. You're in second place in your division. If you are who Danny believes that you are, and a lot of the football public, then you will overcome what you don't have.
Especially because the team ahead of him, Greg. Danny, the whole team, Danny doesn't believe it.
The entire Denver
Broncos.
Chargers are better than the Broncos. Chargers are better than Broncos.
And he said nothing about what they do. So even when you face that defense, no excuses. You got to overcome it.
That's going to be a tough matchup for that offensive line.
Look, how do I word this? I don't believe that you can get it done, but
prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't love it.
I know you don't.
I don't love that addition.
Listen, guys.
I don't love that addition.
Guys,
I don't know what the rules are, but I don't love it.
It'll be year 7 when everything is finally just perfect for Justin Herbert.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It'll be year 7. Jim Harbaugh he lost his fastball a little bit. Derwin James isn't the player we thought he was. It'll year 7, maybe they win a playoff game, KW.
Well, it's 4/12 on a Thursday, which means you're in for a real treat. It's time for the Sports Media Ombudsman. Take all the media, put it into a machine, spit out something awesome. Here it comes.
Thank you, KW.
It's going to be great.
What an awesome. This is the greatest trade I ever made.
I can't wait for this.
Good teammate.
Thank you, KW. Man, tough week to pick from. A lot of options.
A lot of options.
A lot of options.
Oh, yeah.
Some of your favorite, personalities.
How dare you?
Some of your favorite
do that.
personalities alternating between, I guess, telling you to send angry emails or download a solitaire app. I don't know. Somehow, though.
He doesn't pull any punches. It's sports media.
It is what it is. We just asked you to watch our clips. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube or something. I don't know. I want you to write the FCC. Who knows? However, those didn't make the cut.
Didn't make it.
Because, KW, we're old media.
I am, yeah. I'm very old.
Well, yeah, but we're on linear television.
Oh, yeah.
We're old, and aside from Greg,
like fossils
who's actually,
out
I'm glad, leave the camera. No, go back the way it was. That way, Greg's, because I want to say something about the non-athletes. We didn't play. So we don't have that locker room experience, which is why it was so important a few years ago that an intrepid trailblazer like Draymond Green came along.
The Warriors.
And said, yeah, good point, not a trailblazer. Came along and said what new media was going to be about when he launched one of his mini podcasts. When Draymond said, the new media means explaining the game. Really talking from a place of knowledge and not just saying things and outlandish statements to start controversy. It's okay to say someone is great and not try to tear someone down. Ultimately understanding that when you speak, it should be built on knowledge and not controversy.
So for the record, I am old media. I buy that.
I buy that too.
That's really good.
Let's check in on Draymond's latest takes. This one on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, courtesy of Jordan Schultz and Draymond's podcast. New media, take a listen.
Dak's a bum. Oh,
Dak's not a bum. He's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, that's fine. He getting some numbers and they stink. Dak's a bum.
He's not a bum, dog. He's a really good quarterback.
No, he's a bum. They'll never win with that. He a bum.
I totally disagree.
Yeah,
I totally
what
disagree.
has he done in those moments? Been a bum.
He is.
He's been a bum in the moments, Jordan. When they had their best team, best offensive line in the league, they had all that to get to the playoffs, and he a bum.
For those counting at home, that's 9 bums in a 32-second soundbite, which begs the question to my buddy Draymond Green. Has it turned out that when you're not podcasting about an NBA Finals that you're playing in, but the light turns on and the takes are demanded, that, you know what? That low-hanging fruit, but like, hey, Cowboys quarterback stinks. You know why? He doesn't have clutch G. Have you become what you hate, my friend? Should we maybe dial back the episode load? Listen, we're all kind of, drinking from the same poisonous tree. We all have the content gods demand more and more. But that sure does feel like the type of commentary that if you watched on television and older journalists give, you would say, that's the problem with the media. And I wonder how Dak Prescott feels watching you, Draymond Green, who best I can tell, didn't play any football at Michigan State.
Well,
actually did. He did play football at Michigan State, pardon me.
One step too far.
Calling him a bum. So it just feels like maybe the new media is becoming a bit of the old media there.
It's tough to argue.
A good episode of the Sports Media Ombudsman. I do want to stick up for Draymond a little bit.
Why?
Because it feels like it's the name of the podcast is Why is Draymond Green Talking About Football? I don't know if I think that's what it is.
That is correct.
So I don't know if his new media take, that's a carve out perhaps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like the basketball stuff, but he's got a carve out for football. I am putting Micah Parsons on the old school Bud list.
Oh, you're not doing the DUD list.
I'm not doing the DUD list because I found the DUD list to be a little bit mean-spirited after going through 80% of it, to be honest with you.
Good time to bring that up.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's all right. Hey, you gotta break some eggs. First, no one likes the tush push. No one likes it. And when the Giants
like it,
well, most people don't like it. It turns out I like it really just to be a maverick. When the Eagles kept on running the tush push against the Giants, all of social media erupted. Micah Parsons got in on it and said, this is not football, and he had 2 trash emojis. So now, after this tweet, he re-engaged and talked about the Eagles' offense, and here's what he said. Take a listen.
If you ask the Eagles offensive players, probably say that's the best thing we're doing on offense right now. Like, it's the most consistent thing they got. Like, but that might come to bite me one day.
That day is arrived.
That day is Monday.
The day is Monday. I do like the self-awareness of it. So that's why it's motivation. I would like to see Micah have a good game, but obviously as the Eagles guy, I want the Eagles to win. So Micah Parsons on the Bud List. I do believe in you, and I like the self-awareness and the content, to be honest with you. So that's the inaugural edition of the DUD List. How did you think it went?
I thought it went great until you said it was going poorly.
I'll be honest with you. I have to go to the Sports Media Ombudsman.
Yeah.
How did you think the first edition of the DUD List went?
I thought it went swimmingly.
Okay.
I think that we maybe should have more emphasized the prove me wrong piece of it.
Oh,
I think that would have been made it feel like a little more uplifting.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought I'll be honest, Sports Media Ombudsman went a little long.
Okay. We're not afraid to.
Sports Media Ombudsman, self-scout, went a little long at the end.
That's right.
Since we're being honest, I kind of got in my feelings and wanted to stick it to Danny a little bit.
It felt personal.
Good.
It felt very personal.
I was actually.
You didn't even use your fancy graphic.
I was actually.
Greg had a graphic.
Punches.
I was going to be in support of Justin Herbert, but
he got mad.
he was not in the Jordan Love, the Broncos.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do it.
Motivational. Start your Saturday strong. Number 2, Hoosiers. All eyes on Fernando Mendoza as he leads Indiana in his Heisman campaign against Penn State. All starts with Big Noon kickoff at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's Indiana, Penn State. Big Noon Saturday, only on Fox. This is a no-huddle segment, no huddling. Friend of the show, Bill Barnwell, handed out his mid-season awards. Among them, MVP, which he gives to Patrick Mahomes. Somewhat of a tepid rationale. What Mahomes is, of course, is the most inevitable quarterback in football. That was good. When you consider the burden they have to bear within the offense and the help or lack thereof they've had in 2025, though, Mahomes is very narrowly the best of the bunch for now. Ask me again in 2 months. Nick, your reaction to
Well, this has the potential to be a classic example of a first things first staple of Nick getting yelled at for someone else's opinion.
True.
I don't have a Brew's ballot, so nobody knows who my MVP is. But I did, when Brew had Matt Stafford number 1, I did tell him I think it's a great choice. This is Bill Barnwell. Now, is Bill pretty universally regarded as the smartest person writing about football? Yes. Do we call him, friend of the show, despite the fact that he works for ESPN and has never been on the show? That's how high of a regard we hold him in.
That's true.
Yes. So, since you called his rationale tepid, just in support of Bill Barnwell, my opinion notwithstanding, some statistical arguments for, is Patrick Mahomes actually individually, not team award, MVP, having a better year than some would have you believe? I think the answer to that is yes. Here are his numbers for the season.
There's a lot of EPA in Barnwell's article.
No, so I'm just doing traditional stuff.
Okay.
Yards and touchdowns and big plays. First, second, or third and everything. And if you, by the way, if you did it per game, because some teams have had a bye and the Chiefs are having theirs now, it actually doesn't change. He is third in passing yards and second in total yards per game in both of those as well, so the bye doesn't change it. Now, if I were to have been consulting Bill, I would have been like, hey, man, throw in a little bit of that post tackle that turned the tide stuff, because since then, it's even better. He's first or second in, yards and touchdowns, pretty important for a quarterback. When you then add to the fact that, I understand some quarterbacks, Greg, they lose a tackle for a few games, and it's like you can't hold them accountable. The Chiefs left tackle left the team for a month in the midst of this stretch. Some quarterbacks who are just great, they have a running back, go down, and it's just like, oh man, now we're just an average running team. The Chiefs have had been one of the least of such an ineffective running team. People were shocked they didn't pay a third-round pick for 8 games of Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So do I think Patrick has been overall the best player in football this year, like Bill Barnwell thinks? I actually do. Would I vote for him for MVP right now? no, because I do think you need to have a better record for the award. But that would be the rationale for Bill's take, not mine. I'm a Stafford guy.
Yeah.
That Mahomes is the MVP. Greg, your thoughts?
I'm glad you added that last.
What do you mean? I mean, I assume you're going to vote for Bo Nix or Daniel Jones based on today's show.
No, not at all. I'm a realist and I'm honest. Patrick Mahomes he's been having an outstanding year. Individually, statistically, you put all those numbers up. But Matthew Stafford, not only is he statistically having an outstanding year, his team is actually having an outstanding year, and it's because of his ability to perform at this high level. Like coming into the season with all the back issues that we heard about him having, I completely wrote this team off because I did not believe that Matthew Stafford would be able to sustain a health level to where he could be playing at this level.
But now you've come around to my take. He was just taking training camp off.
I mean, maybe he was.
Just chilling.
I don't know what he was doing, but I know it's working for them. Sam Darnold is having a great season. These guys, I wouldn't put Sam Darnold ahead of Patrick Mahomes, even with the record, because I believe that Sam Darnold is being supported by an outstanding receiver right now in JSN, and then that defense has been lights out. Patrick Mahomes, Bill Barnwell, I respect it, but no, he can't be number one. Not when they're 5-4.
You have him number 2?
No, I have him number 3, but other guys that aren't on this list would be on there. Like your guy, Drake May.
Yeah, exactly. I love Bill Barnwell, friend of the show, evidently. Read him every single week. He's great.
Wilds reads the first 2 pages
I
and
read
then
the whole
realizes it's too
I read
long.
the whole thing.
They're very
I
long.
read the whole. If he starts talking about the Saints, I usually it's a comprehensive column.
Yeah. Nick, you said yesterday on the show that we all would vote for Stafford, and I'm glad you got there at the very end and admitted that your vote would be for Matt Stafford.
Again,
and so, I don't want to yell at
Bill's
you.
opinion.
I don't want to yell at you, but I
just
see,
happened to go first.
I see what you're doing.
It's Bill's opinion.
Stafford v. Mahomes, we don't need to do the counting stats for Mahomes. We can put it up. They are comparable, if not in Stafford's favor, especially, yes, it is often a team award, and 6-2 against 5-4. You can't be 5-4 and be the MVP. And if we throw up Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes, I think he has a better case for MVP right now than Patrick Mahomes does, especially because he beat him head-to-head. So if you, to me, Stafford, Allen, Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, like Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football, but Mahomes would be coming in somewhere around 5th on my ballot.
Who would you have ahead, Allen or May?
They played head-to-head, and it would be Drake May. But I would say that Josh Allen.
See, I knew it. I knew he was going to do that.
Of course.
The head-to-head can't matter.
Sure it can.
For Allen versus Mahomes and not Allen versus May.
This is true.
I mean,
there are all sorts of tiebreakers. Like, Drake May has a better record than Josh Allen.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and he beat him head-to-head.
He beat him head-to-head.
And you're saying Josh Allen should be ahead of him.
Josh Allen is better than Drake May.
Okay.
He is.
It's unwinding a bit. It's unwinding a bit.
But here's the thing. It's not necessarily of who we deem just as better.
It's who's having the better year.
It's who's having the better year.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the numbers are close enough, right? The numbers are close enough. So you would have Drake May over
Mahomes.
Do that.
Yes, because
You'd have
I
Drake May
think
over
Mahomes right now.
Then that logic's fine.
I think Mahomes right now is being a game above 500. You're ineligible.
Yes.
I agree.
I wouldn't have Mahomes on
I think that's
so if again, not to get on Brew's corner, but I would have Stafford as a clear 1. I would have Drake May right now 2. And then I'd have to. I think we have been dismissed. I think we've dismissed Baker too quickly. Baker was leading all of it, and then he had one of those games where he was statistically underwhelming. They beat the Saints 23-3. Like he didn't need to do much. And so I would still have Baker in the mix. I would have Jonathan Taylor potentially in the mix.
Where's Jalen in the Vegas? You know, off the top of your head.
I don't know, but I'm going to guess Jalen Hurts in the Vegas odds is 7th.
I'm gonna start getting on the Jalen for silver medal MVP pretty soon.
He's got to see Monday night's game.
I think so.
He's 22-1. So
22-1.
So it's depending on the shop, 5th, 6th, or 7th odds.
Oh, so Hub said he's tied with Herbert and Lamar.
Oh, tied for 7th, he said. Okay, yeah.
Real path for him to be the 1 seed.
Hold on, Lamar.
Not a bad bet.
If I'm telling you right now, if we have another Lamar Jackson, actually, when you look at it, he's the MVP.
That's what is weird. Like when they lose, the losses actually are good.
Well,
I understand, but they didn't play. They lost. They have no chance. He's like, I'm back, and we start winning. It is strange.
They won the last game without him. For the record, they beat the Bears without him.
That's true.
They were 1-3 with him. If I'm going to sit here and say
he hasn't won the MVP,
you
don't
can't,
get mad yet.
I can't believe he's got the same odds as Jalen Hurts.
Should be above him.
Jalen Hurts should be above him. I agree with that.
That's a good conversation.
I like the real-time evaluation.
Steelers passing defense, they're not great. Herbert lights up defenses through the air. He's got the 3rd most passing yards. Steelers give up the most. Meanwhile, the Chargers have been giving the ball up, and the Steelers have feasted on creating turnovers. Danny, do you expect a huge, monstrous game? A game that makes you just sit up in your seat.
A game like Peyton Manning used to have.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Steelers.
I expect it, and the only way the Chargers are going to win any game the rest of the year is if he does.
Great.
Like he has to be as good as I think that he is, and I do think there will be games where he is great or not able to be great because of it's the ultimate team game. This isn't basketball. One player cannot just will a team to victory in football.
But if one player could, what position would he play?
He would play quarterback.
Okay.
Right, but but it's not basketball. Great quarterbacks have been on bad teams. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
Have there been a lot of great quarterbacks that went through their first 6 years of their career without winning a playoff game? Are there a lot of those?
There have not been a lot of those.
Okay.
No, there have not been. But I think that Justin Herbert, in this game, we'll see what version of Pittsburgh's defense shows up. They obviously had an amazing game against Indianapolis, and that would be concerning for Justin Herbert, given that the Colts' offensive line is, at this point, approximately 100 times better and healthier than the Chargers' offensive line. But just to remind everyone, this is what Justin Herbert has dealt with and produced this year. Under pressure, the most in the NFL across the board. Dropbacks under pressure, attempts, yards, touchdowns. He is the definition of doing more with less. They have a winning record. They'd be in the playoffs. He has overcome a ton of injuries, all clumped together on his offensive line. So will he have a great game every game the rest of the way? No, he won't.
No, but this game this weekend, you expect a huge game.
Yes, of course I do.
So, again, I get a little foggy. We watch so much football together and talk sports together so much, sometimes I forget. I don't want to misquote you.
Go ahead.
Your biggest problem with the Chargers last year was they ran the ball too much, right?
Had to let Herbert throw.
Yeah, your biggest, if the Chargers had flown you into California and been like, hey, 24-hour consult, what should we change from last year to this year? It would have been let Justin Herbert cook.
I actually think it's on the board that Jim Harbaugh saw one of my clips from this network asking for him to throw more, and that's
why they're doing it.
Yeah, I think
and now, again, if I'm hearing this correctly, the defense of Justin Herbert is they are asking him to do too much under too many adverse circumstances. That look at how often he's under pressure. When I think for a lot of people, what they do if you have an undermanned offensive line is hand the ball off, is try to protect your quarterback. And the other thing that has happened now, Justin Herbert, since the playoff game when he threw the 4 picks when they tried to let him cook, and then this year when they have once again tried to let him cook, I believe has the only 2 players in the league have thrown more picks. Like he has 8 interceptions. I think the guys with 11 are.
He's got 8 in 9 games.
He's got, and so I think 2 guys have 11. I forget who they are. Gino's probably one of them, sadly, and then one other one I'm forgetting. So I don't expect him to have a huge game. I don't expect the Chargers to win the game. Spoiler alert for picks tomorrow. I'll take the Steelers +3. And I do expect that if he has a huge game and he's great, then the commentary around him will be, man, Justin Herbert, look at that arm talent. And if he struggles and they lose, the commentary is going to be, man, Justin Herbert, one day he'll get the help he needs. Because that's been the life he's lived for his entire NFL career. And so I don't think the Chargers are going to exploit the Steelers' defense the way other teams have. I don't think that.
Oddly, I'm with Danny on this one.
Wow.
And it's simple. It's because it's the only way that this team can win is if Justin Herbert goes out there and he lights the scoreboard up and he passes for 300-plus yards and he's 3 touchdowns into the game. Like, there's no other way that this team wins. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they're still in a position of myself to where they need to prove that what we saw last week is who they are going to move on being for the duration of the season. And that's creating turnovers and generating turnovers in the fashion of which they did, and then getting after the quarterback the way that they did, regardless of who's up on the offensive line, protecting Justin Herbert. I believe that the only way this team is even in a position to where they make the postseason is if this young man is able to overcome what we're saying he hasn't been able to overcome.
What happened to the Chargers defense? Why can the Chargers not win a game like this with just a steady performance, good defense, and good coaching? Like what their
defense has been much worse this year than it was last year.
Right. No, so that's what I'm asking. I'm not being a smartass here. Like the idea behind the Chargers, for some of it was Herbert's finally going to have his great year, but some of it was they have a great coach. They have a great offensive plan, and they have this defense. And now some of the injuries they had on defense, guys are back. So it is surprising to me that nobody has said, yeah, they can win the game because they can harass Aaron Rodgers, because they can win the game 20-17. Like, we don't look at the Steelers as this unstoppable dynamic. Right. They've been a steady offense, but not this unstoppable dynamic offense.
The Chargers, I mean, they're 6th in total defense.
Yeah.
The issue with trying to get at Aaron Rodgers is he gets rid of the ball a little too quick. So if you're not getting there under 2 seconds, you have no chance to get to Aaron Rodgers because he understands I'm not going to hold on to the ball. I got to get the ball in my playmaker's hands. The thing about the Chargers that is super intriguing to me is if Justin Herbert, when you said if he's not able to do it, the storyline would be, man, look what he doesn't have. It's so unfortunate. But if he does, and he's able to get this team in the postseason,
it
would be kind of like what we talked about to start the year for Josh Allen last year. Like, man, he doesn't have any weapons, anything meaningful on offense. We didn't know James Cook was going to have the year he had. If Justin Herbert is able to do that and get this team in the postseason and still be alive, MVP talks.
Put him on the ballot.
Put him on the ballot.
We're discussing Broncos Raiders tonight. Next. Friday, college football. Northwestern up against Josh. USC Trojans. Josh, our researcher.
Yeah, not a certain Josh on the team.
No. Tomorrow. 9 p.m., 6 p.m.
Really impressive. Josh,
only on Fox.
Like, it doesn't surprise me because Josh is a brilliant guy. It's really hard to get into USC.
Josh has talked so nicely about USC. I want my son to go to USC.
Yeah, maybe Josh will put in a recommendation in for him. Josh is one of the more famous alums.
Raiders in Denver tonight.
It's true.
Bo Nix and the Broncos won 6 in a row and are undefeated at home. And Bo has been red hot in the fourth quarter, which either is a great thing because that's when you're supposed to win the game, or not great. Those are the two options.
Go ahead.
What can the Broncos do to prove to you that they're legit?
Tonight, nothing. And here's the deal. You said earlier you were going to break the segment.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You literally said I'm going to ruin the segment during the DUD List. Danny's under duress.
Yeah.
When you were like, why, when the Broncos are doing what the Chiefs are doing, it's that meme of like never mind, it's a bad meme. Doesn't matter.
What meme are you talking about?
Let's talk about memes.
It doesn't matter. I'll tell you off the air. It doesn't matter. And I stayed quiet because it would have broken the segment.
Yeah.
Because I just have a natural allergy to outrageous straw man takes. And of course, the team that was the 2-time defending Super Bowl champs was going to get a different benefit of the doubt than a team that has done nothing ever. And so that is the reason. It is, and the other reason was the Chiefs were not playing awful football offensively for 3 quarters. They were just playing close, kind of ugly games. And nobody argues, in my opinion, that what he's doing in the fourth quarter is not great. It is great. The question is it at all sustainable, and how much does that offset what has not been average quarterback play the first? Can we show Bo's stats for the year? Because keep in mind, he had baked into this is he's been the best fourth quarter quarterback in football. So if those are his ranks for the season and everything, and he's been the best quarterback in football for a quarter of the games, then the hell has he been for the first 3 quarters? That's the problem, right?
What's up?
And so the Broncos, fair or not, they have to prove something to me is a week from now. They play the Chiefs. If they win that game, they take a stranglehold of the division. Tonight, it's kind of the not much to gain but a lot to lose game. Because if they win, they're supposed to, and if they lose, it's a disaster going into the Chiefs game.
All right, Greg, you have to give your take while you're giving your pick for tonight's game.
I'm going with the Broncos, and for me, you can't play bad if you're Bo Nix leading up to knowing who you got to play next week. You got to get some type of momentum going offensively through the first 3 quarters, because we know, and I think it's sustainable now because the defense is that good, that he will have a shot to win the game in the fourth quarter. So,
but do you think they're gonna need that tonight, where it's like, oh, we have a shot to win, or are they gonna have?
I don't think they'll need it tonight, but I think because they won't need it, they want to see you be better in the quarters 1 through 3.
Yes.
I'm on the Broncos tonight in a game I expect to be very, very ugly. Like, Broncos defense without Surtain, Bowers back for the Raiders. Raiders can't run the ball. Raiders defense is bad. Bo Nix quarters 1 through 3. Like, I just don't trust either of these 2 teams, but there are more pieces on Denver's defense overall. I'll give a slight edge to Denver, but I would take the Raiders with the points.
Okay, say, if it's going to get ugly, you may want to think about the Raiders. I'm taking the Broncos because I've believed in the Broncos now for 24 hours.
Yeah, a little
Actually,
more, 24 and a half hours.
4 and a half hours. So I'm starting to believe in the Broncos.
So,
well, come on.
I want to take the Raiders.
Do it. You're already in. You said they were going to make the playoffs.
Well, that's probably dead. I'll be honest. The
I know,
Raiders
but they got a heartbeat.
playoffs.
Breaking news.
Probably dead.
Nick right admitted he's wrong.
You know what? I'll give this out. I get no points for this in our picks contest. But I looked it up during the break. It's 7-1. Raiders money line and the under. An ugly game that Geno makes one big play in. Ashton Genty breaks a couple big runs.
Bo gives you one.
17-13 type of Raiders victory.
I like that a lot.
Go ahead.
Dusty, can I change
No,
mine?
you can't.
You're
like the Broncos guy.
You convinced me.
I'm
changing mine.
That convinced you?
You
looked it up.
No, because you were like, well, it's ugly, and I was like, The Raiders
Greg
did
had a
the best team
Freudian
in the
slip
NFL,
where he was like, the Bo Nix win it late, like they're going to need that. And
that's true.
I tried to help
That's a
you
good
out, but
point,
it was obvious you were
goodness.
nervous.
Coming up next, Wemby versus Luka. Did he prove he's still better than Wemby?
Undeniable.
Yeah, probably. He did. Yeah. But still tune in. We'll give you the rationale.
We've been locked in for the last couple of weeks, and we got to stay that way. I believe we turned a new leaf.
What I'm currently seeing is a guy that's in total command. I think he's got full ownership on what's going on.
Keep that mindset going of trying to go 1-0 and coming out victorious each week. We'll be, in the position we want to be at then.
Just got to keep going. At this point, it's real football starts.
First things first, overtime. Baker Mayfield getting ready to play the Patriots. Overtime, getting ready to talk about the Bills. Interesting storyline here. Bills headed to Miami Sunday afternoon. Buffalo GM Brandon Beane.
I like that.
I get it. Built different.
I like that.
Pretty good. Buffalo GM Brandon Beane confident in the roster and frustrated he didn't make any deals. Take a listen.
You can't make decisions in a vacuum or in a silo. They all have long-term effects. Yeah, believe me, I went home as mad as any other fan, or as mad. Like, I wanted to do things. I'm always wanting to do things to make this team better. I ain't giving up, but I also believe in our roster too. And to Jay's question, I do believe we can win a championship with this roster.
I did not like that at all. Listen, I agree they can win a championship. I don't think it's going to be this year, but it wouldn't. If you were to tell me, I've looked into a crystal ball, the Chiefs don't win the AFC, my definitive pick would be Buffalo. And I think whoever wins the AFC is going, if it's one of those two teams, will be the favorite in the Super Bowl. But it is, and I don't even blame him necessarily, Danny, for feeling that way. I don't know why he'd say it. I don't know why he would tell the world, like, yeah, I was doing everything I could to add players. And it feels like, because remember, he called in to talk radio this summer. Yeah. Remember that? And it was, you guys are mad we didn't draft a receiver. And talked about how the problem wasn't the offense. He
was correct about that.
Sure, but he seems very attuned to the criticism. And it felt, to me, this was trying to front-run potential criticism of you didn't do anything, as opposed to, even if you were trying to do stuff, just coming out there and be like, I love the team we have.
Yep.
We just, we just manhandled, whether he says it or not, we just soundly beat the 3-time defending AFC champs. We have 2 losses. No one in the conference has fewer losses than us. So I thought it was weird for him to just say, yeah, I was trying to add pieces and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think from a PR standpoint, he maybe was a smidge too honest, but it's also the last opportunity for real that a general manager has to do anything for the team, and now it's totally out of his hands. So I could imagine just like a human nature amount of frustration there. He's like, okay, I thought last year's team was good enough, and they didn't get it done. And it's the last year in the stadium. There's a tremendous amount of pressure in Buffalo we've got the quarterback, we got the team, we keep knocking on the door. We went to 4 straight Super Bowls back in the 90s, couldn't get it done. When are we going to get it done? So I think that's Brandon Beane feeling a little pressure. But the overarching point there was they're good enough to win. And he is correct, because it's looking like it was a 2-game blip for Buffalo. And then a soft schedule early where we're like, man, this team doesn't have that impressive of a resume. But with wins over Baltimore in week 1 and wins over the Chiefs last week, that's not even the case anymore. But if you look at like what they've done halfway through the season, they're top 10, both sides of the ball, in like basically everything that we care about. Wins, scoring, yards, rushing yards, opponents' points per game, opponents' passer rating, pressuring the quarterback, hitting the pick your stat. They're good at it. They have impressive wins. They scored more points than anyone in football last year when you extend it through the playoffs, including the Eagles and the Chiefs, who played, obviously, an extra game than them. So their offense, to the quote you referenced earlier, Nick, isn't the problem. We have some questions about their defense, and they don't have as many big star household names on their roster, and the Ed Oliver injury certainly does matter. But, man, there are as few questions about Buffalo as just about any team in the NFL.
Yeah, I think this was just him really trying to inform their fan base, because that was a question from their local reporter. And so obviously they've been getting a lot of influx of, well, we didn't do anything. Why didn't we do anything? When you're in those small markets, I was in one in Green Bay. Get a ton of fan mail, a ton of questions of
people coming up to you at the bowling alley.
Everywhere.
What's going on?
But I thought it was great for him to be informative of, look, we're always trying to improve the roster. Speaking to none of us, but everyone in that market. Look, we understand we want to win just as bad as you guys. Because you got to think, the Buffalo fan base has been let down year after year after year. I mean, heart-wrenching losses, whether it's at the hand of Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow coming in town. And so when you have one of the best quarterbacks in all of football, and your fan base knows that, it's always going to be a level of pressure to put pieces around him to, when it matters most, they're able to get over the hump.
And can I say something real quick in defense of Brandon Beane? Mm-hmm. I think the types of trades people were talking about them making, like a first-round pick for Waddle or Olave, would have been crazy.
Absolutely.
Would have been ridiculous.
So okay, I didn't know if you would agree.
To trade that much capital for a wide receiver. Like, if you would tell me they're going to go out and
don't say it like that. Wait a minute. I mean, I could say if it was a different type of wide receiver, okay. But
for one of the best offenses in football to go add a wide receiver would just be unnecessary. Like, they don't need a receiver.
No, like with the way that they're constructed, they're built to run the football and to play through their tight ends. Like they have constructed this offense to survive without a number one, better than anybody in the National Football League. And so to go out there, I don't think we as fans or viewers sometimes, when we're on the outside looking in, understand what you might have to get rid of or give up to acquire these other guys that you're hoping to bring on your roster.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I also think that it is incumbent on, and I know it's easier for the Chiefs to do this because they've won already, and they've won so much. But I think if you are the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, those three teams, and really just those three teams, it is your responsibility to always be focused on the now with a long view. If you have one of those three quarterbacks who still has another 5, 8, 9 years of great football in them, being too hasty is what you can be like, man, it's what, in my opinion, not through trades, but it's what Cincinnati has done, where all of a sudden they have misallocated their resources in a way where there is just going to be a big gap of time where they're not even in the mix. Mm-hmm. And so I think it would have, if they would have done the Quinnen Williams trade, it would have gotten universal applause. And I'd be like, Ed Oliver's gone, and when Ed Oliver comes back, look at that D-tackle duo, who, bleep them picks. I think that would have been crazy. Like, that would not, in my opinion, have been a good management. Now, you could split the baby a bit if they had done the Rashid Shaheed trade. I know you're saying you don't need a receiver, but something similar to what they did last year, Jalen Phillips, where like the Amari Cooper trade, I know that didn't work out. Something in the margins, I think would have been fine, but ultimately that's probably not deciding it anyway. So I actually think Brandon Beane has done a really good job. I just don't, I don't see the need for him to go on TV and defend himself like that. I just don't know what you gain from it.
As a Patriots fan, I like that they didn't do anything, though. So I think that has to weigh into the equation somehow.
So,
like, I would have been a little, you got Quinnen Williams, you're really going for it? There's an element of, like, if I'm the Bills, it's a little bit like with the Achilles injuries in the NBA, where it's like, all right, the Chiefs might be the wild card at best. Maybe they win it, but if I'm being optimistic, not afraid of the Patriots and Drake May. He's brand new. Lamar is struggling to get in the playoffs, and Joe Burrow's out. Like, maybe this is our window. I got to worry about the Colts, and the Colts are being aggressive. Maybe if we're in an arms race with Indy, maybe we do take our shot here, and even though it's not the most prudent thing in the world.
Just real quick, I know you're saying if you were the Patriots, you would have been bummed out if they got Quinnen Williams. I actually think they maybe would have been more aggressive if the Patriots weren't having the year they're having. Because I do think they now have to consider, man, it is not going to be a cakewalk through this division over the next few years. We are going to need, be able to restack young, cheap talent. And so we have to take a more conservative, if you will, view because the Patriots are going to be right in the mix over the next decade.
Ravens in Minnesota. Lamar has been great all year. Defense recently got better. Here he is on getting better.
Got to stay locked in, Can't get on the high horse, just from winning 2 games in a row. We got to stay locked in. Like I said, we've been locked in for the last couple of weeks, and we got to stay that way. I believe we turned a new leaf. I believe so.
Danny, what's on the line for the Ravens?
Well, it's pretty obvious that their margin for error has been shrunk considerably because of injuries and because of early season losses. So any loss is going to be like, oh, wow, are they going to miss the playoffs? Like, that is still on the table for Baltimore. My eyes tell me that their defense has gotten much better and as they've gotten healthier. And Lamar is awesome. And that is rudimentary analysis. I understand that. But Lamar this year is just like he was last year. He just hasn't played in every game. Like when Lamar starts and finishes games, they score 35 a game. Like I don't really know what more we need to ask or see from Lamar. So I expect the rest of the way, because that's what it was last year. Lamar was 41 touchdowns and 4 picks last year, and then you added in the rushing, and it was a historic season that only him and Aaron Rodgers, I think, had done in terms of the number of touchdowns against the number of turnovers. Like, anytime Lamar isn't spectacular in a regular season game, it's shocking. So I expect him to be great.
But do you agree that, separate from that, do you agree if they lose, they're done? Because to me, what's on the line for the Ravens this weekend is their season. That if they must be 6-5 through 11 games. They're right now 3-5. They have to win this game. They have to win the Browns game. They have to win the Jets game. Because I don't know how many games you guys think the Steelers are going to lose. But if they fall to 3-6 and they need to get to a minimum of 10, there is no, I don't care how great Lamar is, there is no reasonable reason to believe that a 3-6 team is about to go 7-1 with a toughest part, not the toughest, but a tough part of their schedule coming up. So I think, I agree with you that the offense is dynamic and a real machine. But I also think they could lose, and it looks like something. We talked about this an hour ago. They were 4.5-point favorites. Now they're 3.5-point favorites.
Greg made such a great case for the Vikings.
And so,
he moved the market.
I think if they lose, they're done. I think that if they lose, their season is just over. And so that's, to me, what's on the line for them.
Yeah, the playoffs are on the line. I'm not going to say their season is on the line yet, because I still don't believe wholeheartedly in the Pittsburgh Steelers with what they have left on their schedule. But you can't lose this game. And every single week that they play, it's a must win. Like, that's where they put themselves, that's the position they put themselves in. And Lamar, as great as he's been offensively, I'm still hung up on the idea or with the belief that I don't know what their defense really is because of who they've played as of late. And so this will be a test with the Vikings, but then how great of a test is it going to be because of them with the young quarterback, them not having the offensive explosion that they did last year. And so moving on in the season, they got the Bengals twice, a team that we know they can put up a lot of points on, but so can the Bengals put up a lot of points. So their margin of error is just constantly getting less and less. And if they lose this game, it's going to be tough.
You would feel like they're still likely to make the playoffs if they lose to the Vikings?
Well, you said it's over if they lose, and then turning it over and saying likely better than 50-50. They still have a shot. They will have a shot. The season does not end.
I agree with that.
We could put up the schedule, man. The right-hand column of their schedule is very difficult, but you can't tell me that you don't think they can beat the Bengals and the Steelers and the Patriots.
I certainly. What do we think they can go right-hand of that schedule? A Steelers team that they haven't swept in I don't know how long. I think in Lamar, since before Lamar was there, is last time they swept the Steelers.
I mean, they're probably, they're favored in at least 4, if not 5 of those games. Like they're not favored in Green Bay.
They're not favored in Green Bay, and I don't know that they'll be favored in Pittsburgh, but they'll be favored in certainly all the home games.
Week 18 is tough to.
But what do you think is their best case scenario for that right-hand column?
Best case is 5-1.
Okay, so I would call it 4-2.
I would say 4-2.
But if they lose this game, if we're saying it's, and I don't know, Christina, can we throw up the Steelers schedule? Because then it gets real tricky, guys. Because if they lose this game and they go 5-1, that means
that's 10.
That's 10. If the one loss is one of the Steelers games, that might not be enough.
Listen, it might not be enough depending on, they absolutely would need to win the right games.
Yeah, and
I said that off the top. Their margin for error has basically been eliminated. You say it's been completely eliminated, and I'm just saying they've got one more game because they can still sweep the Steelers. Having not lost in the division yet for them in terms of the teams they're chasing is massive for them.
I think it would. we have never, I mean, Josh, you can tell me in my ear if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain I'm not. The Ravens have not swept the Steelers since in like a decade.
They always play.
And so the idea that this year, when it's a better Steelers team than we've seen the last few years, and it's the worst Ravens team we've seen the last few years, this is the year they're going to sweep them. That would be stunning to me.
All right, that game is Sunday at 1 on Fox. We're headed to San Francisco, where Matthew Stafford will be taking on Mac Jones. Sean McVay, very complimentary about his own quarterback. Take a listen.
He's played a lot of really good football throughout the course of his career, but I think what I'm currently seeing is a guy that's in total command. That's not any different than what I've seen in previous years. He's been awesome. I think he's playing excellent football, but there's a lot of instances that I could point to when he's played great football, and that's why we're fortunate to have him leading the way.
All right, more likely this game, Stafford plays like the MVP or the 49ers pull off the upset.
Stafford MVP game. I know it's happened once already before, but Stafford to me this year has been borderline perfect. Like, I know people can point, I know Barnwell pointed out to like individual missed throws in that article that we cited earlier, but if you're halfway through the season and we're like, he missed a throw to Puka Nacua once. Like, he's playing virtually perfect football, and their defense has been awesome, so he doesn't even need to be supremely excellent, like top percentiles of his abilities for them to win. Given they lost already, I would expect the Rams to have a huge bounce back spot here.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the upset simply because this is, I want to say Kyle Shanahan, and Josh, you can correct me if I'm wrong, his record against Sean McVay is like 11-7. Like, and for a middle from like 2019 to like 2022, he just didn't lose to Sean McVay. And now the Rams have been a little bit better.
The big story was when McVay beat them
in the playoffs.
To the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Because he had Shanahan had owned it.
Yep. And so when I think about that and what the 49ers have already been able to do, beating them once, like they just match up well against this team. They understand what they're up against. There are no surprises. And so you know how great Matthew Stafford is playing. You know who Puka Nacua is. You know Devontae. You know all these players, because you see them twice a year, every single year. So this 49ers team will be ready. Kyle Shanahan will have a game plan that's going to make it an ugly game where they're going to have a chance to win it with the game on the line.
KW. Let's have the conversation you want to have, because Brew's not here. We miss Brew. We love him. Let's take advantage.
I don't think it's a real conversation.
So let me walk down the path, because I believe the Rams are going to win. For the record, I think the Rams have. You guys know I had a little fling with the Rams last year.
Oh yeah,
I really liked that team.
Fortunately.
My NFC Championship game pick for this season was Bucs over Rams. So I believe in the Rams. If the Niners win this game, I think Mac's just the quarterback the rest of the way. I think that Brock's toe, it's just hasn't quite healed. And
you think that'll be fake?
Well, I think that it's not. Let me be very clear. Obviously Brock Purdy has a toe injury.
I know you believe that.
But I think Ty is going to go to, man, we're rolling. And if they win this game, KW, and this was your take on the Niners before the year, kind of. One of your takes was whether they're good or not, that I wouldn't give Purdy credit because the schedule's so soft. Take the Purdy piece out of it. The schedule is so soft. I don't know, Christine, if we can throw it up or not. I should have told you, my apologies. If they get to 7 wins with games left against Arizona, Cleveland, and the Titans, I'm not even including the Panthers as a layup because the Panthers have earned that respect, but that's 3 layups in there. And then Panthers, Colts, Bears, Seahawks, those are, say they only go 1-3 in that spot, that's 11 wins. And Max played well. So if they upset them, and they've now beaten them twice, and they've beaten, again, the Seattle game, Mac wasn't there for it, but they're in such a strong position, I think your guy Mac might just be the guy the rest of the year.
Comeback player of the year?
Oh, the NFL changed that. it has to be about they changed the way you.
Does it have to be injuries?
Yeah, you can't come back from sucking.
That's actually how they wrote it.
No, that's true. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Can't come back from it.
That's what happened.
They wrote it that way.
I love you. I'm sorry about that.
You bring Mac back, or you bring Brock back at some point. Because if you're going to be a playoff team, you're going to want who you deem to be your best quarterback.
Thanks for hanging out on Frenemies. Last night, Lakers beat the Spurs 118-116. Not the most beautiful basketball game, but entertaining late. Monster game from Luka. Not a great game from Wemby. He only had 19 points, 8 boards, and 5 turnovers, and he fouled out. Luka with 35, 9, 13, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Pretty ridiculous. So, Nick, your guy Luka.
Yeah.
The guy that everybody deemed as the best player in the world after one game in Wemby, and I do say that conversation was valid. Bigger story, Wemby's flat night or Luka's dominance?
Luka's dominance, because Luka's 5 games so far this year where he scored 200 points, the only other person to do that through the opening 5 games of the season, Wilt Chamberlain, who did it twice, has just been a reminder for everyone of who the hell he is. And it was... You seem not to remember it as crisply as I do, the Luka revisionism that was going on after last season about where Luka stacks up amongst his peers. Like, well, clearly, he's not Joker and he's not Shea and Wemby's coming. And what about Giannis? Like that. Well,
I think all of that is fair. Like, if you want to say that Luka is the 4th best player in the world or the 5th best player in the world, like that's right in line with where I have him.
Yeah, so I think people were grading him a touch below that, but Luka has an argument on any, like Joker to me has the belt.
Yeah.
But if Joker's in his own category, Luka has as strong an argument as anyone that he's the next best player. And Giannis is having an unbelievable year. Shea is having an unbelievable year. Wemby has not yet established it yet. And, but Wemby has no titles. And to your point, Wemby hadn't made the playoffs. After game 1, people were asking, is he already the best player? And the idea behind the Lakers should be, if we have one of these supernovas, which they have in Luka, then if LeBron is still just, last year he was 6th in MVP voting. If he's just the 16th best player in the league, if he really falls off from where he was last year, can they contend for a title? And with what we're seeing with this, to credit for JJ, what they've been able to do shorthanded, no LeBron, no Austin Reeves last night, working new guys into the rotation in Laravia or DeAndre Ayton, like the Lakers are a real contender now, and that's to me the biggest story.
So it feels premature 7 games in for the Spurs, 9 games in for the Lakers to really say that anybody is a contender. Like it's an NBA season. It's such a marathon, and then the playoffs are a marathon after a marathon. So I want to see Luka and what is this version of LeBron? And then what happens with Austin Reeves? And does DeAndre Ayton, is he just making a good first impression, or what is he over 40 or 50 games here? So I feel like maybe other people wrote off Luka. I never did. Like 4th best player, 6th best player, a healthy, in shape, motivated Luka is one of the greatest offensive players that I've seen in my life watching basketball. So I never doubted that guy. So last night it was like, yeah, a 26-year-old in his prime without LeBron out there, he had a great game. I want to play what Wemby said after the game, because to me, he is the story of this season. And like what he did coming off of the health scare, being the best player, how far can he take them as a 21-year-old? And I just thought he was very honest and introspective after that bad game last night.
Feels like the game is going fast somehow. Feels like the game has, like, as we got better as a team, and as all of us got better individually as well, it's like the opponents have stepped up in some ways defensively, and I feel in a way that the game feels fast right now. So we're going to catch up on it, of course. Personally, I haven't seen this kind of defense from teams, So we need to adapt as a collective.
So I just thought it was a really honest, introspective thing, and we know how he treated the offseason to like mindfulness and all of that. And if we're putting him even in a category with Jokic and Giannis and Luka, all of those guys are 6 years older than him, 5 years older than him, 9 years older than him. He is getting treated in a way that he's never been treated before. And it will be interesting now to me, first quarter of the season, next 10 games, how does he bounce back from this? Because we crowned him early. It took 4 games for that to sound ridiculous. And now is what we saw last night going to be the new norm? Or can he bounce back to how he looked in 1 or 2?
I mean, it can't. What we saw last night can't be the new norm.
But for a stretch of time for a young player to play inconsistent, that would be totally reasonable for a 21-year-old.
No, I disagree with you. I do not think it would be totally reasonable for a guy people think it is a...
For a 10-game stretch? For a period of time?
Well, hold. If the right now, the expectation for Wemby, it seems, is he's going to be, at a minimum, one of the 15 greatest players ever, then year 3, all those guys were night-to-night excellent. All of them. And so I don't, listen, I am not, I'm not going to, he had a bad night Sunday night, whenever it was, he had 9 points.
Yeah, the game against Phoenix when Dylan Harper got hurt.
But we are, and we were after going into this season, and certainly after night 1, talking about his trajectory and the greatest big men of all time. And Shaq in year 3, that team's in the finals. Akeem in year 2, that team's in the finals.
But so that's why this is the bigger story. Because we put him in, you're doing this, 15th greatest all time. And now it's a couple of games in a row where he's struggling, and he's saying all of a sudden, game feels fast to me. Monitoring that early season is the bigger story.
Okay, so, I mean, if I thought, I guess we're kind of having 2 different conversations. That's my mistake. If I thought this was going, if this continues, this intermittent play, then it is the bigger story. To me, there is not the he's 21, he's in year 3 curve. I'm not really that interested in that for a player we're talking about. And top 15 of all time is conservative. People talking about could he end up being the greatest player of all time. I look at this as more of a blip. I don't quite think the Spurs are actually I think the contender conversation before the year, people were like, maybe the Spurs, and I think that spot might be taken by the team they played last night in the Lakers.
And Luka was absolutely ridiculous. Let's get back to football here. In Tampa, 6-2 Bucs, 7-2 Patriots. Your NFC pick, the Bucs, rested Week 10 coming off the bye. They've been dealing with a ton of injuries. Baker, though, says the team is ready for the rest of the season and the Patriots, despite all the adversity they've faced. Take a listen to the Bake Show.
Guys have shown that it's a resilient group and that they're able to handle whatever we throw at them and whatever we have installed. So, just got to keep going. At this point, it's real football starts, and we have obviously a really, really good opponent coming in here.
What chances are you giving Wilds' guy Drake to outplay your guy Baker?
I think there's a decent chance. I don't think Drake May is better than Baker. I think Baker has earned the right to be in the mix, to be considered, with Joe Burrow out, the 4th best quarterback in football. If it's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar is your top 3. When we are talking about who is the 4th best guy, the 5th best guy, Baker's name has to be high on that list, along with Stafford, along with whomever. I don't think Herbert has earned the right, but I know you do. That's fine. I think Baker has played to that level over multiple seasons now. But Drake May's been outstanding. So I think it's certainly on the board Drake outplays Baker. I wonder if you think it's on the board the opposite.
Yeah, it's on the board. And listen, I think that what happened to Tampa early in the season was good fortune, and that happens in football. We talk about this all the time. The razor's edge, slim margin of error. Most games are 1-score games. Tampa was on the right side of most of it. I think they're about to be 6-5 after starting 6-2 with the Patriots, Rams, and Bills coming up. If I'm wrong about that, and they go 2-1 in that stretch, with Godwin not back yet, with a couple linemen not back yet, with Bucky Irving not back yet, Evans obviously not coming back until hopefully the playoffs, then Baker should absolutely come back into the MVP conversation because of how soft their schedule is at the end of the year. I just don't expect it to happen right now. I think they're going from 6-2 to 6-5, and then they'll finish 11-7.
So, but the fact that you think they're going to go 0-3 means you just think they're fraudulent. If you expect them to lose all of their games remaining against playoff teams, then you just think they're fraudulent.
I think they're exactly what they've been the last couple of years. A good team that beats up in the NFC South with a unbelievably talented quarterback with a great organization, man. They brought back all 11 starters on offense. They score a ton of points, but I don't think they're a great overall football team.
But the last couple of years, they have been, at the very least, the exact same caliber as the Rams, who right now have, like, the Rams won a Super Bowl 4 years ago, and the Bucs won a Super Bowl 5 years ago. Obviously, not the same people, but over the since Baker's been Baker, they and the Rams, you could argue the Bucs have been the more consistent of the two teams. The Rams have not gone on some deep playoff run. The Rams have 6 wins. The Bucs have 6 wins. It is surprising to me that there is such a hesitation that the conversation for you around Tampa is they have been winning close, as opposed to they have been arguably as injury-riddle as any team in football, and they have overcome it. They have won despite that, and so to then, I'm not picking them to go 3-0 in this stretch, but I think they are going to beat the Bucs, and then I think I think they're going to beat the Pats. And then you have 2 tough road games, right? But the Bills game and the Rams game is on the road. You have 2 tough road games, and you hope to split that. It is, to me, Baker and this team has earned more benefit of the doubt than basically your expectation is whenever they play a good team, they're going to lose.
Well, do you think they're better than the Rams? Because I look at Stafford as being better than Baker. I look at the Rams defense as being better than the Bucs defense. I look at the Rams coach as being better than the Bucs coach. I don't think they are that caliber of team. It's a perfect comp. Because you're right. The resume on paper says it's similar, but it's a perfect comp.
I mean, that is the NFC title game that I picked, and I picked the Bucs to be the 1 seed.
Fair enough.
So if that game were in LA in the playoffs, I'd probably favor LA. It's in LA here in a few weeks. It's not quite the same as a home playoff game. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just saying, I think those two teams, they're not the same as far as their personnel, but their track record, their literal record this year, where I consider their quarterbacks in kind of the quarterback hierarchy, are all very close, similar. And it just seems like you look at the Rams as a real deal contender and the Bucs as a lucky team, and I just disagree.
Yeah, I think strength of division, who they have to beat to get there, but we'll call Frenemies a tie.
That's fine.
A good, healthy disagreement. Been fun hanging out for the last 2.5 hours. See you for the games. Bring Willie Colon and Greg Jennings out here. Aaron Rodgers, he bouncing back. Coming up. Sunday night, my Chargers host Willie Colon Steelers. Willie Colon's out here. Hey, 3-point favorites at home. Jim Harbaugh, he's a little bit of a hype man. A little bit for his guy Justin Herbert. But he was asked about the guy on the other side, Aaron Rodgers. My guess is he had some nice things to say. Take a listen.
To do it at the highest level, argument that, it's the highest, and tremendous competitor, has a great desire to win, does anything and everything for his team to win, and nothing but respect.
All right, Willie, who's more likely to have a statement game here, Rodgers or Herbert?
Well, out of the 2 quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers is the best closer. I have a graphic just to prove, because I know you're a Herbert lover, so I had to come with some facts and stats. And when you talk about these 2 quarterbacks in the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers is simply better. You talk about touchdown interception ratio. You talk about explosive passes. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback. And I think what's interesting about the Steelers right now is Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers have been able to do more with less, right? This is a multi-personnel team. 13 different players have been able to catch a pass from Aaron Rodgers. At least 5 receivers have been able to lead the Steelers in receiving, and they get it done in the red zone. So I expect Aaron Rodgers to pull the plug out on the Chargers and get it done. I expect them to have a signature game on Sunday Night Football.
Look, for me, it's Justin Herbert, because he has to in order for this team to have any chance to win any game moving forward. And I understand that Aaron Rodgers has been better in the fourth quarter, but the game is played from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, and that matters. And Justin Herbert, overall, for the course of the season, has been a more productive quarterback, even though he's been under duress, if you will, more than any quarterback. And there's numbers to suggest and support it. Like, if the Steelers are able to perform and put on a performance like they did last week against Daniel Jones and that offensive line, then Justin Herbert's going to have a problem because he's been under pressure all season long. He's taken a lot of hits. But even having said that, he's been there, done that. He knows, hey, I got to be able to endure that. I have to be durable. I have to still find open guys. And he has the ability to be special at this juncture in his career. So I think Justin Herbert's going to be more likely to have.
So my answer is Herbert also.
Well, that's expected.
I know it's expected, but I will say this: like, I think there are a lot of ways the Steelers could win the game. Like, their defense could just dominate the Chargers' offensive line, and they could. There's probably only one way the Chargers win the game.
There is just one
which is Justin Herbert puts on the cape. And so you had a graphic and you had a graphic. Christina, we can skip my graphic because these guys have done plenty on the pressures and the stats, and everyone knows Justin Herbert, most pressured quarterback. I would just like to introduce you all to Trevor Penning.
Who?
Trevor Penning. This man came over from the Saints, and that is him meeting Justin Herbert at practice. Trevor Penning will be the 10th offensive lineman to start this year for the Chargers.
Was that today?
It was, I believe, yesterday when he got there. Trevor Penning, I had to learn a little bit about him. I wasn't terribly knowledgeable on all of the Saints' intricacies of their offensive line. He played left tackle in college. He played 17 games at right tackle last year. He's played a lot of left guard this year. For the Chargers yesterday, he practiced at both left tackle and right tackle. So that is the state of their offensive line.
It's in shambles.
In complete shambles. Yeah. But Trevor Penning, you are one of the most important people in the NFL right now because you have to
only for the Chargers.
Because you have to protect a top 5 talent at the position who is the most hit and pressured quarterback in football, and I needed him to be good to justify all my takes in him. So Trevor Penning, that if Herbert is going to have that statement game, it's going to be the new guy who plays right tackle, and left guard.
Yeah,
it's going to need to have a big game.
But there's a couple of things here. It's not just about the Steelers' pressure, which we know that's on brand to who the Steelers are. It's about the Steelers are getting healthier right now. And you saw it happen Sunday against the Colts. When you talk about Jalen Ramsey playing at safety, when you talk about Kyle Duggar just jumped on a moving train, Mike Tomlin's words. When you talk about this defense finally understanding if we get to the quarterback and we allow our secondary to communicate and tackle, because that was a big bugaboo with them, we are the brand we play a brand of defense that everybody's used to and what we are accustomed to. Right now, it's not about just stopping Justin Herbert. It's about flattening Justin Herbert. You got to make him ache out there because you know he's tough enough, but you got to make him tap because he's going to be at home. He understands he's going against Aaron Rodgers. Sunday Night Football, I expect him to play to wear the cape. But what I expect this defense to do is put the ouch on him early because that's going to make him sit in the pocket, choke on the football, and really say, uh-oh, all I have is Quentin Jefferson. Uh-oh, maybe that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the hiccups because if he gets in rhythm, it gets ugly. So that's what they have to stop.
And if you're the Chargers defense, you're looking like this is not an offense that's extremely explosive. What they do well is get the ball out, get it out on the perimeter, and get the ball in guys' hands like DK Metcalf where they can make run-after-catch opportunities. And so if you're Derwin James, if you're Khalil Mack, you have to rally these troops and say, look, are we truly a top 6 defense? Because total defense, they are, the numbers suggest.
Top 3 in passing defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, correct.
But they have to be the difference because I don't think any of us believe that. I'm not going to say they can't run the ball. But this is a team that throws the ball 36, 37 times a game.
They certainly can't run the ball like they ran it last year.
No.
When they had a healthier offensive line and Hampton is out, their offensive linemen are out. So I actually don't think this version of the Chargers really can run the ball.
And so
I don't.
The deal is if you get solid defensive performances from that side, that unit, and Justin Herbert can hold par of what he's been, they're going to have a chance to win this game.
The thing that gets ugly to me is, like, he's like, why can't Justin Herbert just overcome everything?
Because he can't.
But can
not without an offensive line.
Can anybody? Like, can anybody? Like, if the Steelers are supposed to be the best defense in football, they literally spend more money on the defensive side of the ball than any team in the NFL. They're supposed to be the best. They're not, but they're supposed to be. They've got great players on defense, and they just had a 6 takeaway game against the Chargers offensive line that we would have said is top 3, top 5.
Easily top 5.
So if the Colts offense is top 5, this version of the Chargers offense is Bottom three? I mean, seriously, like it's got to be a bottom three unit in football, like this current version of it. So there's a world in this game where the Steelers just have 7 sacks. Like that is on the table in this game.
It's not just about the sacks.
Pressures all.
Yeah, the pressures simulate. It's about, can you stop Justin Herbert on early downs? Because it's not just about him seeing his first read. You know he's able to go through his progression, but you want Justin Herbert on the run, right? Because when he's on the run, now you're cutting off half the field, and now you're making him force tight throws, and now you're allowing your guys to go eat. That's what the Steelers have to get to. If you allow Justin Herbert to sit in that well, he'll kill. You got to get him on the run, running from everybody.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to be on Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator as well for the Chargers. Like, you got to set your quarterback up for success. You know you have to throw the ball, get the ball out of his hand quick. You have the guys. Ladd McConkey, he needs to be more of a part of what they're doing offensively. He was great last year. Now you got Keenan Allen back, and you've kind of thrown Ladd McConkey to the back burner. But he needs to be forefront in this offense as well. Get the ball out of his hands. They'll make enough plays.
Broncos a huge favorite tonight. Thursday night football would be a division win for them, get them to 8-2. Chiefs only at 5-4. Big problems in the AFC West if the Broncos win. We'll discuss. All right, so tonight the 7-2 Broncos are taking on the very much not 7-2 Raiders in Denver. Broncos nearly a double-digit favorite in this one. They are atop the AFC West. The Chiefs are 5-4, third place right now behind the Chargers as well. You see the odds, they are second in the odds, which is speaking to injuries for the Chargers and the faith in the Chiefs. If the Broncos win, they go to 8-2, Greg. What would that mean for them?
It would mean a lot. Look, going to 8-2, understanding that the team that's going to be chasing you, obviously the Chargers being in second, but the team in red is 5-4, and you got them to follow up the following week, would be huge. You're already in the driver's seat. Take command. Get out front. Don't take this team for granted. Get it done tonight.
Yeah, if Denver wins, next week is going to feel like Terrence Crawford versus Canelo, right? It's going to have that type of impact. I mean, I'm going to run to the couch to see this game. But overall, if the Broncos win and then win next week, I mean, there's going to be a transfer in power in the division, right? The Broncos will be them. And now you put a lot of pressure on the Heat, a lot of heat on the Chiefs to respond and try to play catch-up. But this is a big game, not only tonight, but next week for the Broncos.
Absolutely. They'll take care of business because they know what's at stake the following week. That's not them looking ahead. That's not them looking down the road. Right. That's them understanding we can seize the moment, and they will seize the moment. Look.
Yeah. I hope the Broncos get it done, man. I want to see a big game next week. We'll see what happens.
Upset alert picks.
Orange Crush.